I wanted to bring something that was workable to the world, a solution to reverse global warming that is workable. And to make it workable, you have to look at the inner soul of who we are as human beings, and we have to satisfy who we are. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman, Logan Crawford.
Investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving deep into the climate crisis with entrepreneur and author Gurdev Mattu, who is writing under the pen name Tom Orrowchild. He has built a multi-million-dollar international business and warns we have just years to save our planet. His groundbreaking book is called Earth 2035, and in it he reveals the logic of scale and presents a radical tokenization solution that could make everyone rich while saving the Earth's natural resources. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Gurdev, thank you so much for joining me here today.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting us.
My pleasure. This book is important, it's impactful, and it is much needed. You write under the pen name Tom Orrowchild, and I guess that's because you have an eye towards the future?
Absolutely, in particular, the future of our children. And I wanted to make sure that the book wasn't about me. It really is about the future of our children. And the thought just came to me one morning in bed, but if you break up the word Tom Orrowchild into Tom Orrowchild, it really depicts the future of the children, a broken future. And we want to join those words back up together to give them a brighter future and hope, because it's looking really bleak.
What motivated you to write Earth 2035?
That's a great question. So a number of things. I've been in the world of business for 32 years, and throughout that exposure in the capitalist world, I've really seen what the drivers are for humanity to almost disregard what is really important, planet Earth, and the climate crisis is, we can see it changing, but you can't see it changing daily. You can see it changing over the 5-year period, 10-year period, 15-year period. I look back when I was a child, and where I live, in a part of the world, the snow at Christmas used to be 3 or 4 feet. Now it doesn't snow at all. The schools used to close for 2 or 3 days. It was a really exciting time. Yeah. Being a child, it was really, really fun, but it just doesn't snow anymore. And there are 110 other, different examples I could give, but that one's the most visible. So that visualization, being in business, and then actually getting to an age and realizing, why is this happening, and why did Charles Keeling come up with the Keeling curve and realize that the carbon dioxide is filling our planet and the atmosphere almost 75 years ago, and nobody's done anything about it. Well, it's bringing those world examples, those world living the problem, and realizing then as we get older that actually the children's future is really important. That is the motivation. Those are the motivation. The future of our children, the future of our planet, as well as a lot of disgust in what we are doing and ignoring it. And I don't blame the human species, because we have trapped ourselves into mechanisms, into world social orders that don't allow us to sit back and think, because everybody is busy just living, paying the bills, complying with society. And we've got to change that, or at least try and at least recognize that. And we have the intelligence. We have the biggest tool that no other animal species has. We have a huge amount of intelligence, and we should use that. So there's a lot of inspirations, but it's not looking good.
Talk to us about your tokenization solution and how it might change human behavior.
So this is having realized the problem, having a desire to fix the problem, I focus a lot on our obligations to God, and then it was really about coming with real life solutions, because it's easy just being another voice and just shouting about the problem. So what I've come to realize in the world of business is what drives you and I and everybody else in the modern world. We all want to get richer. Wealth creation is a natural human trait that we all want, and there's no denying that. And there's a lot of negativity around the rich and the wealth creators, but you don't want to get away from that. So we have to satisfy that human need. Secondly, people, the Elon Musks of the world, the Jeff Bezos of the world, the Richard Branson, they all want recognition. Nobody just wants to be rich. Everybody wants recognition. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a sports player, you're a TV personality, you're a businessman, you're just somebody who works at the hospital, or you're working in an industry that is quite obscure. But everybody in their pocket wants recognition. It's what drives us. It makes us proud. Wealth creation and recognition are two things that you can't get away with. You can't get away from. So tokenization. So I wanted to bring something that was workable to the world, a solution to reverse global warming that is workable. And to make it workable, you have to look at the inner soul of who we are as human beings, and we have to satisfy who we are. Otherwise it's not going to work. You can't say to everybody, like, stop working, let's go back 400 years and stop burning fossil fuels and plant your own trees. It's just not going to happen. We all want to get richer. We all want motivation. We all want recognition. So tokenization was an idea that I came out with, that I thought of, that ticks those boxes. So we have, in a very, I'll explain a very simple methodology of it. So if we just looked at a simple English oak tree, in very simple basic terms, it's worth £1,000. And how's it worth £1,000? Well, simple maths is it's 20 cubic meters of wood at £50 a cubic meter, 20 times 50, £1,000. And then you sit back and you think, well, what is that oak tree? Well, it's a living organism. It's something that is magical, that is created by God. It actually houses something over 300 species in terms of rare beetles, butterflies, birds, all sorts of. One oak tree is phenomenal in itself. It's not worth £1,000. You don't just chop it up and sell that for £1,000, but we do. Right. So I would value that at £1,000, £10,000, or even £100,000. Now, if I value that, and I'm not going to go and buy something in today's world worth £1,000 for £10,000, even though I deeply believe that should be the value. So what would make me buy that is if there was an incentive. And what could be a better incentive, and I thought of all sorts of things, was if there was a good tax incentive. Easy one. We all want to lower our taxes and pay less tax. So I just thought, and I look at inheritance tax now as I'm getting older and my health is starting to, starting to be questioned. And I think, well, I've worked for 32 years, and whatever wealth, and this applies to everybody in the world, whether you're a professional or you're in business, or otherwise you want to preserve your wealth for your children. And if that oak tree was valued now at £10,000, not £1,000, and it was inheritance tax free, I would buy that all day long, because my children, after I've gone, would sell that oak tree for £10,000, and because there'd be somebody else wanting to buy it if it was actually valued at that right price. And now, all of a sudden, the children are better off. As an investor, I'm better off. Now, the way to make that work is you would have to reclassify the oak trees or woods or trees as an asset class on a government scale, which is a campaign I've started to make that inheritance tax free. So that doesn't make the government any richer. So you have to then think, well, how can you make the government richer? So if we buy or invest in the national woodlands that is owned by UK PLC or any state or any country you're living in, and if that money, which is in the trillions for the UK, it has something like 13 million hectares of forestry just sitting there doing nothing, was tokenized and invested in because I want to invest in it because I'm going to get an inheritance tax free. And if the government realized that money and got that money and then paid off its national debt, I worked out that the UK government could probably could reduce its national debt by over a third, certainly £1 trillion, and save something like 50 to 70 billion pounds a year in interest fees, and that is just going over to other countries. So now the government's richer, it can lower taxes, the population's richer, I'm as an investor, I'm richer, my children are richer. But guess what? The world is richer, the ecological environment is richer. So everyone can get rich with resources we've already got. It's quite as simple. And
basically have to make conservationism and environmentalism a win-win and monetize it. And then people will be happy to comply. Let's talk about 2035. In your mind, that's a critical deadline?
Well, so there's a number of things why I chose 2035, because as I was reading and researching and watching every David Attenborough documentary there is, I see the Paris Agreement of 2050, and I see the headlines, and they don't match. We haven't got till 2050 according to the science. And then you look at the last COP, the conference of parties around climate change, and I think it was China that set their net zero targets to 2060. Oh wow! And then guess what? China's set theirs to 2070. I mean, it's ludicrous. I mean, what is going on? So I've set 2035 to drive some urgency about it. But the science is round about that anyway. We are fast declining. Secondly, I'm in a world of business, and we like to set targets, and I want to make change. And I want everyone to wake up and not think, do you know what? Oh, we've got 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. We haven't. So I want to set a target where everybody can wake up. And then another big factor for me, as we need to realize, yourself, myself, everybody, we as individuals are only here for a very short space of time in our lifetime. We think we're here for 60, 70, 80 years, 90 if you're lucky and beyond. But it's only a very short space of time, and this planet and these trees and the environment has been built over billions and millions of years, and we can't just destroy it in a few decades, which we are doing. So we have to urgently act, and actually, I think it's doable if we all got together, and if everybody joined up, and if everybody joined the pledge in the book that I've asked for, we can have enough unity to put political pressure, peaceful political pressure on the decision maker, the policy makers, and we can make these changes. And we know that over a very short space of time during COVID, look at how the world was recovering. The fishes started to come back in the Venice canals. That hadn't happened for decades. From where I'm from, India, we saw that you could see from cities. Delhi saw its first rainbow for decades. You could see the Himalayas from a city called Jalandhar, which due to fog and pollution, never seen the Himalayas for decades. And the world was starting to come back, and it can really bounce back really quick. So 2035 it is doable if we all act together and fast, and it has to come from the individuals to unite, to be able to put pressure on the political parties around the
Absolutely.
world.
This book is a great wake-up call to humanity because we all have vested interest in this book. We're only on this earth, rather. We're only dancing on this earth for about 50, 60, 70, 80 years, like you said. But the earth is eternal. We'll be giving it to our children. We want to give a clean, safe, habitable planet to our children. The name of the book is Earth 2035. In it, Gurdev reveals the logic of scale and present a radical tokenization solution that can make everyone rich while saving the Earth's natural resources. It's an important wake-up call. This is a blueprint for change and sets a deadline of 10 years from now for either catastrophe or survival. You choose. Gurdev, thank you so much for joining us here today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
I appreciate your time, your insight, and the wonderful work on this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.